Yeah, no, it's great. In the summer, I set out to be here in this organization, and the opportunity didn't present itself right away. But just believing in the organization and believing in what the organization believes in, as far as working with Lakeland Magic and keeping everything in house, and everything that we do down in Lakeland, that we were doing in Lakeland, we do up here. So being prepared as possible to make a transition like this and to step into an opportunity like this, but to make the most of it, it's just a blessing. I love the direction this organization is going. Under Jeff Weltman and Coach Mose and the leadership that these guys have, and I just think that with me being on this team, I can help add to that culture, help further that culture, and my mindset now is just helping that culture advance as far as being tough, being hard playing, and guys that come in and work and play hard every night. So, that's my job, and that's why I'm here, to come and help guys not only, buy into that culture, but also, to be an example of that culture. So I'm just excited for the opportunity. And like I said, blue is my favorite color, so it looks good on me out there. I'm excited.
How have the veterans helped ever since you arrived, kind of get adjusted and make those transitions?
Being this my third year in the NBA, a lot of familiar faces in this locker room. Some guys I played in college, some guys I've seen around the league. But having the vets on this team, those guys are very vocal about some of their experiences and ways that we can be better, and just helping us talk through situations, especially on the floor and off the floor, and finding the best solution. So these guys have been great examples so far. And, like I said, they've been very vocal leaders as well in the locker room, so it's been very helpful.
What did your time in Lakeland mean to you as far as kind of getting familiar with the Magic system and learning from their coaching staff over there?
Yeah, I mean, you can only imagine coming into camp, not knowing a system, not knowing the offense and defensive schemes and that stuff. You're pretty wide-eyed. I would say Lakeland Magic just gave me a lot of reps, a lot of opportunity to practice and to get a great feel and see how I fit into, the top team in the Orlando Magic, and figuring out ways that I can be my best and be an all-star in my role. And, they really gave me the opportunity. And, being on a two-way contract, it's a high possibility that I'll be back down, and I'll be excited to step into that opportunity even more, to go and practice some of the things that I'll, be doing up here. But I think the biggest thing is just, I've been in the G League for the last 2 years, up and down with the Wizards, and then, in the G League bubble last year. I think the biggest thing that I've learned is using those reps as practice reps, like literally. Even though that, some two-way guys or assignees, they get more opportunities with the ball or the score, not abusing that opportunity, but actually working on things that will translate to the NBA level. So I think the biggest thing for me is just, whether I'm up or down, doing things that have furthered my career, doing things that have furthered, my position and where I am in the rotation on this team, but also focusing on the things that the coaches are looking for, the organization is looking for off the floor, and just continually being consistent in that role.
How much did being in training camp with this team help you kind of begin to integrate, and especially kind of the odd circumstances of you getting this opportunity? How much did that help you jump right in?
I think the biggest thing that helped with that opportunity is getting to know the guys. Getting to know the guys early, building relationships with guys, and then over the year being up and coming up here for practice sometimes and seeing the guys coming through and supporting them from afar. And those guys hearing about what we're doing in Lakeland, just to step into this opportunity as a 10 days, it just made it a lot easier transition to come in with familiar faces, have great conversations, and guys support me on the floor as I support them, throughout camp and stuff like that. So I think it allowed the opportunity to create great relationships, which I definitely feel like I did and took advantage of. But, now it's more so about, not only my performance, but helping other guys get better as well.
Obviously, it's the strange circumstances of getting the call up. What was your mindset when you got that first 10 day, when you got that first opportunity, and as the things started to evolve over the last few weeks?
Well, my first thing that was on my mind is let's try to get 10 wins while we can. Just winning. Winning is the name of the game. I mean, everything that these coaches preach goes into winning. Everything that these coaches, ask of us goes into winning. So just being about winning, being a guy that has a mindset about winning, whether that's if my name is called or not, having the right mindset, being on the bench, being the first guy up, giving some guys advice, echoing calls that the coaches want, telling some things that I see, just being actively involved in winning, regardless of how it looks. So I think the biggest thing right now is just impacting winning even more, especially being on the two-way contract. But getting the call up is just about winning.
We've heard Coach talk a lot about the spirit of this group. The record's probably not where anyone wants it to be to that point of trying to build habits that will lead to winning down the road?
Yeah, I think each guy is coming out every day, every night, and going as hard as they can, playing as hard as they can, trying to consistently do the right things. And the coaches are doing a great job, starting with Coach Mose and all his assistants, preaching a great message and consistently being honest about making winning plays, making the right plays, especially in the crunch time. So, for us, it's not about age, it's not about youth, it's just about, toughness and locking in and doing the right things when it's time to win. So we're getting better at that. That's something that we're practicing and working on every day. But, with this group of guys, it's going to be a learning curve. But at the end of the day, right now, we're trying to get wins. Our biggest thing is just putting out and translating what we, work on in practice. I mean, the last couple games you've seen, we've been in the fight. We just got to finish, and we all know that. So the biggest thing is not beating up ourselves, but holding ourselves accountable out there on the floor and making sure that we're consistent in what we're doing every day out here in practice so that, when in the game it translates.
Mentioned earlier about the Lakeland team. Obviously, they've been one of the winningest programs ever since they arrived in Lakeland. Just how much of a benefit is it from just a winning perspective to be a part of a program that obviously has had so much success in the G League?
Yeah, and, with the coaching change with the Magic and having, the G League win the championship last year, just the mindset of winning, like you said, it's a culture. So, they've built it pretty well in Lakeland, and a little bit of what's happening in Lakeland is bleeding up here as well. And it starts with Coach Mose, and it starts with the staff, and it starts with the front office as well. But the guys are doing a great job of trying to really build this culture here and winning. And it just starts with what you see out on the floor. It's not about the end score all the time. It's about it's about the little things. It's about continually fighting to the end. Still playing with the same intensity for 40 minutes. Whether we're getting calls blown our way or not. Still fighting. Not complaining, finding ways to make it happen and get it done. So those are some of the things that Lakeland hangs their hats on, and I know that this organization hangs their hat on too, and they're really trying to build and instill in this culture. So I think the biggest thing is continuing that and continue that winning mindset by our actions each day.
Thank you.